We're on Harlow. I think we're on hard. Well, we're on easy. The Ultimate Vault Hunter, just because. No point in having it on. No reason for me to. Meh. Not really that good. That's what we got going on. That's the build, just in case you want to see it. This is supposed to be the broken-ish build, but I have no specializations. So, yeah. If you're wondering how I have no specs, even though I'm level 50, it's because I created a level 30 character, and then I went into a save editor and boosted the level to level 50. I also made it so the entire map was discovered and that I had all SDU things completed, all like little trinkets like that, because I feel like creating a new character, especially level 31, where it was supposed to be after the game is complete, I think it's like, kind of rough getting to a point where like I don't want to, do this. I guess I want to talk about this, even though this wasn't going to be the point of the video, but when you're creating a new character, you can start from like level 30 you can either start a new playthrough, obviously, or start at level 30. It's after the campaign is finished. And the problem is you spawn like right here at this building, and the entire map has fog on it. Basically, like, it's not discovered. And that's interesting until you realize it's kind of shit, because if you're creating a new character specifically after you're done with the campaign, it's probably because you just want to get to farming on that character. You want to be toward endgame, which level 30 isn't endgame. It would be different if there was DLC and stuff to play, but like you're starting it after the campaign, and the only thing to do after the campaign is farm, which it's not bad. Like I love farming the bosses and stuff, but having the entire map completely blanked out, not being able to teleport anywhere, sucks, because then you have to, go out of your way to discover everything again and unlock all of these outposts. And then on top of that, your character starts off with specializations being low, specializations being at 0, which is fine, nothing wrong with that. But your SDUs are also at 0. So you're basically a level 30 with no SDUs. Like they don't even give like a couple of them unlocked. Like you just have to go and unlock them, and it wouldn't be bad if you paid for SDUs with cash like you did in the previous games, but now, well, Borderlands 2 you paid in Viridian to Earl. Borderlands 3 you're able to pay with cash, which I kind of liked. To be honest. I like spending money on it. Because if you do it based off of the map where you have to go to these, here, I'll show you the spots, like, get basically Evocarium, it's like any collectible, basically, the collectibles on the map. So you would have to go to all of the caches, basically. You have to discover, I think Vault Fragments give them to you, Echo Logs, Vault Symbols, like Echo Logs and Vault Symbols. You basically have to run around and get all of those if you even want to get close to, like, maxing out your stuff, which it doesn't need to be maxed, but, you only get so many. You only get like 5 to 10 SDUs per, pickup, and it's just like, because this is basically your gear. Like, not having ammo kind of sucks. So, I wish, like, endgame wise, I wish they did that. Like, I get it. It would make sense if there was DLC for the game, because then it's like, oh, I'm level 30, I can start the DLC now. I'm done with the campaign. But there's nothing else other than like side missions, which, I don't mind those. I like having those to redo those. That's fun, because that's like actual content. But I don't care about that. I'm starting a new character. Something that I was thinking about is I wish they had it so that you can create. There was 2 types of characters you can make. There's, obviously a new character, but there's the level 30 with the game being complete but nothing else unlocked, and there's a level 50, which is, or whatever max level is, a max level character, level 50, with max SDUs, all the SDUs unlocked, and the map completely discovered, and all bosses being able to be playable except for ones tied to missions or whatever. Like I would like that. Like that, because that's basically what this is. Max level character, just everything unlocked, basically. So I could get to the fun part of the game. Because why start farming at level 30? I have to, well, first now I have to level up so I could get to max level. Because you don't want to farm, you're just going to level up anyway. It's like, okay, well now I'm at max level, well now I need to, You don't really need to go for the Vault Hunter modes, but it's like, okay, well now now we need to go do the bosses and stuff. It's like, right now I need to get the SDUs, and it's just like, how many hours can you spend getting SDUs and stuff? Like, I literally spent my entire playthrough going out of my way for anything like that. I remember I spent hours, tens of hours, just getting SDUs, just farming all of them in my first playthrough. I'm like, bro, I do not want to do that again. I just want to play one of the other characters and not spend another 140 hours doing everything leading up to the fun part. I don't want to say fun part as in like the base game isn't fun or anything like that, like not farming, but like I just want to farm the bosses and get the weapons. I just want to do it on a different character. I don't care about the story and stuff. I just want to farm the bosses on a different character. That's why a lot of the time when I, oh, I guess I'm going to interrupt myself really quickly, but right now we are doing this Conway. This is the mission where you get this stuff ready to launch the people off the planet. There's a thresher over here, there's a boss over here in this area, and in order to unlock it, you have to do a side mission because the door won't open. So that's what I'm doing right now. But yeah, so like a lot of the time, especially with Borderlands 3, I did this a lot. Borderlands 2, not as much because it was easier to just get through the game. It didn't take as long, you know, shorter story, you're able to speedrun it quicker and whatnot, especially for using cheats or whatever. But Borderlands 3, I would just take my, you know, max level save, and I would go into a save editor, I would copy the file and paste it, and then I would take the copied file, I would take it and put it in a save editor, and I would literally just change the money to 0 and the iridium to 0, and then I would just change the character. I would literally just change the character. It's just the exact same save. So I'll have like 2 to 3 saves with the same amount of time played, because the time played would transfer. So if I took like a 100-hour save, then I'd have like 3 100-hour saves, even though only 2 of them have a playtime of like 5 minutes, because it's copied. Although a lot of the time I would purposefully find a save that had the campaign completed but no side missions and stuff. Well, I would restart the campaign. It doesn't really matter, but you know, again, this is a much longer campaign compared to Borderlands 3. Much longer. And the biggest problem with this is you can't skip dialogue. And there is just, if this game had a dialogue skip, I would genuinely play the campaign again. But I don't want to so soon, because there are just so many moments where people are talking and talking and talking and talking, and there's no marker for you to go anywhere. So you just have to sit there and wait for them to talk. Like, yeah, if you played the mission before, you could go to the next area and wait for it, but yeah, Conway. These characters look so... You know what? Something else that bothers me about this game is, like, the characters like Conway and, like, this guy, they just look so generic. Like, I wish they looked more like side characters. Like, they look like NPCs that you would just see, like, in the area. Like, make them stand out, like Moxie. Like, think of Crazy Earl, like, he even stands out. You know, Scooter, like, he stands out compared to the NPCs on the street. Dr. Zed, you know, Marcus... Like, they are very unique compared to just, like, the throwaway NPCs that you see on the street. The problem is all of these, like, characters that are supposed to be somewhat important, or, like, they're part of the story, you interact with them, side characters, you talk to them, you know, quite a few times, they just look generic. The only guy that's, like, the least generic looking is Rush, but that's just because he has such a big build. Like, looks-wise, he is kind of pretty generic. Which is, like, kind of weird to me, you know? Like, it's weird how they, like, it's like they lost the art style to an extent. Because you have Moxie, and I think her, you know, she's been, like, redesigned every Borderlands game at this point, but I think she looks great in this game. You know, Zane, his comeback, I guess they're spoilers, but, you know, whatever. You know, Zane, his comeback, he, like, his character looks cool. Like, I love, Amara in this, like, she's great, you know, then there's, and it wouldn't matter if they had like, more of the older, recognizable side characters, but literally the only people that return in this are Amara, Zane, Moxie, and then there's somebody else, but I don't want to... I mean, you could probably guess who it is if you haven't beaten the game or anything, but, you know, I'm just gonna leave it at that, you know. There might be one more character that shows up, you know. You could probably take a guess who, but I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, so, you know, secret character. But, like, I wish, like, you know, Tannis doesn't show up, you know, like, I wish something... I'm not going to spoil, you know, who the character is at the end, but, like, somebody who I wish showed up again was Ava. I really, really hope Ava shows up in a DLC, and, you know, people might be like, what the hell, what the hell is wrong with you? But one, I thought her character was fine in Borderlands 3. I thought, like, she was written how a 13-year-old should be, annoying as fuck. And then, she has to turn around, accidentally killing Maya, blah, blah, all that or getting Maya killed, being maybe somewhat of the reason for it. Not really, I don't know. But this game takes place 6 years after Borderlands 4, or Borderlands 3, which, I would like to mind you, Tiny Tina was 13 in Borderlands 2 story, and then Borderlands 3, she's around 20, because it takes place, however many years after. So, like, they're aging them up normally by the looks of it. Everybody looks older, Zane, Amara, whatever. But, like, if you look at, like, so that would make, Ava, like, 19, which I would have loved to see a more mature, like, you could have redeemed her. Like, I was really, really hoping she would show up, because originally I thought the game, because I remember Randy Pitchford, or it was somebody, one of the devs, I think it was Randy, saying, like, oh, the game takes place right after Borderlands 3, and I'm like, oh, so, like, Ava would still be 13, like, I was thinking that it took place immediately after it happened, but then I remember seeing with certain characters that show up, you could tell they're older anyway, that it's been some time. They even allude that it's been, like, a long time already, but basically knowing that, like, this takes place 6 years after, so the amount of time that passed in real-world time, caters to it, kind of like the jump between Borderlands 2 and 3, which I like it. They accounted for real-world time, technically. And I like that, because that would make Ava 19 and not 13. And, like an adult, much more mature Ava, I would love to see that. That would, especially at the age of 19, like, it would be very redeemable. You got to remember, Gage in Borderlands 2 was 18 in Borderlands 2, and then she showed up in 3, and she was 27, if I remember correctly, around that age. So, she changed, she didn't really change a lot, because she was already, really fleshed out. I mean, I can't really say changed a lot. Just, the characters didn't really talk much in Borderlands 2, but, like, Borderlands 3, or Borderlands 4, I would have loved to see Ava return. Obviously, I guess that's a spoiler, she doesn't. I really, really hope she shows up in a DLC. Really, really hope. I really would like her. If there's any returning character, I would love to see Ava again. Especially as an adult. Just, I want to see, you could easily redeem her character and make everybody be like, oh, she's the best now. Like, she could be the next Maya. She could literally be, like, the next fan favorite character. And you just, like, the passing on that opportunity. That was one of the first things I would have done, especially knowing that the game takes place so long. Like, because, again, like, yes, the characters get older, but they don't really change mentally, they were already adults, there wasn't really a change to be had, whereas, like, going from a child character, like, look at the jump between, for Tiny Tina. Like, there was a clear change. Yeah, she's still the same person, personality-wise, but, like, she very is much clearly older, Like, she understands stuff, blah, 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 this and that. So, like, it would just be nice to see Ava, at least, Tina was already, she had to grow up pretty quickly with her parents, dying and stuff and all that. And, like, she was already on her own. So I feel like there's less of a really change personality-wise for her. She was still kind of the same-ish. But, like, I would love to see the Ava change, going from, like, hey, something you watched, like, you didn't see Tiny Tina's parents die in front of her, but you saw Maya die in front of Ava. She's like, she witnessed that. You were there, knowing what she went through. Basically, her, like, most catastrophic event in her life, probably. And now you would get to see her 6 years later. I would love to see that change, like, how she had evolved as a person. Like, you could have done so much with her, and I feel like they flopped it. And I feel like it's because so many people gave the character shit when, one, she didn't deserve all that shit. She was a pretty well-written character. Whatever. Maybe not super amazing, but still, like, I thought it worked. But, I think it's, like, because Randy and whoever was working on the game story-wise probably was like, oh, we got flack for Borderlands 3 story being, like, too mediocre, whatever, this and that, not good in air quotations, so let's just, people really hated Maya, so let's just make sure we don't even show her up, make sure all of the new characters we show are just, generic, like, not too crazy, not too out there, like, basically baseline characters that are, like, you're indifferent to. Like, you don't hate them, you don't like them. They're just, they're just characters. They're just characters in a story. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they're like. There's nothing really stand out about them, like, Conway. It's funny because Conway in this game has, like, a personality that I feel like you could really get behind. She just doesn't necessarily stand out enough, you know, especially style-wise, because you see her person, you see her character, and she looks like any of the other female NPCs in the game, you know. I wish she had, you know, a little bit more color on her, you know, did her up differently, you know, like, I mean, look at, and like, they've done girls differently. I mean, you could look at Moxie, like, you could look at Ellie, you know, look at Lilith, look at Amara, look at Maya, you know. I mean, just like any of the females in this game, you could just look at them. Look at Tiny Tina, you know, like very standout in a good way, you know. Like it's just like it's weird, like, you know, the character design in this kind of, you know, like I feel like they took a backseat, took a bit of a liberty with the characters. You should have made these side characters stand out more. I think making them looks like, you know, and obviously, you know, you can make like a lore excuse for it, like, oh, it's because they're on the planet, they don't, but like, still, like, I would have preferred more of a standout. Like, it's weird that, like, if you don't know, if you've played this game, if you played Borderlands 4, or if you've seen the, there's a side mission where you basically have to rob, like, a vault or whatever, and, I won't spoil the end of it, because it's kind of a funny kind of, like, it's basically like a heist. It's like a heist movie type, like, joke mission, and, like, you basically have to rob this, like, vault, and the characters in that stand out way more, like, look-wise and, like, personality. I don't even want to say personality, but, like, kind of personality-wise and look-wise, they stand out more than, like, all of the main side characters in this game that aren't, like, ones that we've already known, you know, like Moxie and etc. It's just, like, it's so weird. Like, the enemies look more, like, well, like, I don't want to say drawn, but, how do I explain it? Like more detail went into them, you know? Like, you could tell them apart better. Like, you could tell the bosses apart better than you can from, like, Conway and Rush and, like, all of those, like, main NPCs. Like, genuinely, like, if I were to name, like, if you were to name any of the NPCs in this game that weren't Rush, like, main NPCs that you talk to, like, multiple times in this story, I genuinely wouldn't know what they fucking looked like. Remember Quint? He died. And, like, that was, like, the only optional mission where you could actually save somebody's life, and I didn't know that. I looked at the timer, and I'm like, oh, shit, he actually died. I accidentally let him die. And honestly, I'm glad, because he was annoying as fuck. He looked like every other character, too. Like, the only character that does really stand out, to be honest, is, that fucking... I guess I can't say that word because it's derogatory, but that little person. The really short guy, in the Tundra Zone. I need drugs. Drugs. I need drugs in my body. Who's this hit for? Who do we do this hit for? This hit is for Amara in Borderlands 3. That one's for Amara. Maybe I should have done it for Ava. Whatever. That one's for Amara. I don't give a fuck. They knew what they were doing with her. I killed the wrong fucking enemy, bro. What a waste. God damn it. That wasn't the guy. I'm done, bro. Get me out of this fucking boss battle.